Hello, hello, hello. We are back again. I am Alechia Reese, and I am so honored to continue this Intrinsic Magic series with you, y'all. I don't know if you have caught the entire series or every conversation up until this point, but if not, it's okay. Go back and binge watch or maybe binge listen, whatever works for you. Go back and watch them because here's the thing. We are making sure that all of us have the tools to not only discover our magic, but also learn how to nurture it, how to grow it, and how to utilize it in ways that help us all. Because our gifts and talents were not just given to us to help us thrive, but it was given to us so that we can serve. Because listen, why have a gift if you're not going to share it, right? Okay, so I am here with an amazing human. We have been talking off stage before we started. And listen, Christina Albert, who is a global brand marketer, is first of all good energy all around. But I want to welcome you to the conversation and also to the series. It matters that we figure out not only what our magic is, but now how do we thrive in it. So now, before we get started, I want to, and I have been starting all of these conversations with, for me, the most important question, because once you can answer this, no matter where you go, there you are. But where you are is where you'll always be able to learn how to thrive, no matter the season, the reason, or even the transition. So, how do you show up magically in the world?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on. I'm very, very excited to have a little chat with you. I think I just stay 100% true to myself. That is the not type A, but type B plus person, the extremely goofy person, the team player, the hardcore athlete that I am, that I've been for many years. But that's who I am. And that no one's ever going to take that away from me. So I'm always going to show up as the full combination of my unique self, whether that's in front of CEOs, in front of interns, in front of my friends. That's something that I have developed, I have managed, I have looked outwards over the years, scolded myself, and just said, this is who you are. You can be no one else. So why not shine and thrive in your true, authentic self?
Ooh, so you said something. You said as the athlete, as the team player, and now unfortunately, I never played any sports. I wanted to, but my mother was not about that life. She's like, "You going to church? You gonna learn about the Bible." That was it. That was the extent. But I put my daughter in sports very very early, and what I realized the difference between her personality and mine at the very same age is she is so sure of herself, and I cannot negate or pretend as if I can't attribute that, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it, to her playing sports and learning how to, hold her own, how to get better, how to master a skill that she didn't once know. And so that discovering who you are a little bit earlier, I found that sports can be a huge help to that. But how did you discover your magic? Because so many are extremely confused as to what is it that makes me magical or that makes me powerful. So how did you discover yours? Was it sports?
It definitely was sports. I was an extremely hyper child. You could not keep me in one spot. My mom was like, you're going to do something. So I did everything from swimming, figure skating, archery, gymnastics, softball, anything that did not require me to run. So there was no basketball or no track, or soccer. Could not do it. And then doing all of those, I finally found my niche within competitive cheerleading. And with that, I started in like 6th grade, and I went all the way through until I was about 26. Wow. I want to say. So I did it for a very, very, very long time. And I will say, being in competitive sports, let alone competitive cheer, that shaped who I was, because not only is it a team sport, so you have to rely on everyone on the mat with you, whether it's on the competitive mat or when you're at practice. You have to rely on that little group of people. There's 4 people in a group. Sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3. But you have to rely on those people. And on top of that, your life is in their hands. I was the person in what we call a back spot. So I was a taller person in the back. I had to catch somebody that's like 30 feet in the air. So there's that, like, in your mind, you're protecting someone literally from falling on the floor. On top of that, even though it was a team sport, it's very individualized, because you personally have to make sure that your skills are 100% up to par. So there's that level of responsibility that you have to take on for yourself. No one else around you is going to make sure that you land whatever skill that you're supposed to land. That's all on you. So there's that part where, you have to kind of take a step back and say, okay, if I need to get a certain skill, or if I need to land something properly, I need to take the time out and do it myself. My teammates can do all they want. They can say, hey, Christina, you got to go in the gym. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. But ultimately, if you fall, that's nobody else's fault. That's on you.
Yeah.
You can't blame nobody but yourself.
Yeah.
So there was that mentality of, I cannot screw this up for myself, because I will feel pride in landing the skill. I will feel pride in making sure that I made not only myself better, but my team better. So having that both, self mentality, but also team player mentality, and understanding there is a beautiful dynamic between the two, especially in a sport like cheerleading. That was something that I took with me and ran with it, not only throughout my, I would say, sports life, but life in general, as well as professional life. And then, even adding a layer to that of constantly trying to prove people that cheerleading is a sport.
Yes.
Having to advocate and being a person to, being almost like one of the faces, not only for your school, your team, but for the sport, and saying, no, it's a sport. We throw people in the air. We don't throw balls in the air. We don't throw, we're throwing people in the air. We have 4 different sports in one. It's a sport, and having to, articulate that in a way and make sure that people were understanding it, instead of just saying, no, it's a sport, and then moving on.
Yeah.
So there's so many layers, and I'm so appreciative of the journey that I was on when I was a cheerleader, and because there's so many lessons that I've learned from teamwork, adversity, disappointment, failures, because I will say some of my biggest quote unquote failures happened with cheer. And I had to learn how to sit with those failures and how to build myself up, fix the problem, move forward. And, sometimes it's not a quick fix. Sometimes it does take 3 to 4 times to prove yourself. Sometimes, you get to the very end and then it doesn't work out the way that you want. So there's so many lessons that I have learned through athletics in general that I now apply in my daily life, as well as in my professional life. Even to just not take it seriously. There are times where we used to say, like, on my collegiate team, it's just cheerleading. It's not that serious. So even stuff like that, where you're just like, it's
you're okay.
Your baby's dying everywhere else. Like, it's okay. You're fine. So, so many lessons.
It sounds like one of the biggest things maybe it's the thread, but that I keep hearing you say is the personal accountability aspect. Like
Yes.
that piece there where it's, yes, I have a team, but if I have not perfected my particular skills in this area, not only do I hurt myself and have the potential to hurt someone else, but I hurt the overall team because I am not focused on my own self.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like, if you make sure you're good, or if you fill your own cup first, then you're able to pour out of your abundance to others. And there's that nobody else can fill your cup but you piece. So if I take care of
Mm-hmm.
me, then I am inherently also taking care of you, my teammate, you, my work, colleague, you, the global, society. I'm taking care of you by taking care of me. And that's something a lot of people forget.
Exactly. Like you said it best. Even when you're looking at it from a professional standpoint, and you're working with a team, and maybe you have a global client, you should be doing your own research. There are a lot of times that I have met with people from all over the world, like so many different cultures, and in order for me to show up and be 100%, not authentically myself, but to be 100% ready to go, and either whether it's a presentation or just simply meeting the person, I want to make sure that I know everything about you and your culture, because a lot of times what I'm dealing with are, making sure that the identity of the brand, the product, the person is seen authentically.
Yep.
So that could be me personally doing a deep dive on just your culture in general,
Yeah.
knowing what to say, what not to say,
Yeah.
knowing what to wear and what not to wear.
Yeah.
Knowing all the way down to, acronyms that we can and
Yes.
cannot use,
Hmm.
because it will just fly over your head if I
Yes.
say it. So
It won't
stuff like
connect.
that, it won't connect. And
Because it
like,
means
there,
nothing to you.
exactly. Like there's so many things that, in my current role, I'll sit there and say, you know, guys, the whole world does not know what the acronym AKA means.
Nope. They don't
You
know
know,
it. And it means multiple
it
things
means
depending on where you
exactly.
are. Yeah.
Exactly. It means multiple things. You talk to one person, AKA means, one thing, and another person, it means like four different things.
Yep.
So even something as simple as just doing research and making someone feel comfortable,
Mhm.
and and showing that you care.
Yeah.
That's that's all you. That's what you can do as a team player. And your hope is that if you prep yourself, that as a team, you guys are like, good to go, like
Yeah.
ready to take on the world. So, I again, I am thankful for the journey that I have had when it
Yep.
comes to athletics, especially with competitive cheer, because I don't think I would have learned trials and tribulations in such a vivid way.
Hmm.
Um, with I would say with any of the sports that I have done,
Yeah.
with cheer, it was so unique, when it came to the life lessons that we had, um,
Yeah.
that I take that now, and that is how I operate. That's how I lead. That's how I work with others. Again, that's how I operate in my personal life and my professional life.
I love it. What it sounds like is in every area you have been more than willing to still make sure I'm protecting what matters most so that there's still a level of authenticity there. And with that protection, how you do some things is how you do all things. At least that's my belief. So how have you then protected your own magic during life's pivots, transitions, and even storms? Because one thing it's going to do is, the sun will come out, but also the rain will come. It's a guarantee. It's going to be day, it's going to be night. And depending on where you are, you will have to protect yourself in different ways. So, how have you protected your magic during all of the changes that are inevitable?
Right. I think, I always think to myself, the in horrible situations, the worst you can do is completely change your entire perspective and your attitude about everything. And what I mean by that is, you know, you get laid off. Oh my God, like I can't go further in the world. The world is ending. It's done. Like, you
it can
cannot
feel like
do
that.
it. Can feel like that. Trust me. Been there. Give yourself, like, you know, 2 days, 2 glasses of wine, a cry on the couch, and a binge session of, you know, your favorite TV show, but ultimately pack it up and get back on the road, because the world is, you know, as we've always been told, the world is going to keep revolving. Everyone's going to move forward. But if you decide you're going to change your whole entire perspective and stay stuck, it's going to get worse, because you're going to keep yourself stuck in that one position, and you potentially will regress. You know, I have my moments where I'm just like, it's over. And then I sit there and think, girl, you thought that the last time something bad happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are.
And here we are. So it's like, I do have, as much as I like to joke with people, I have like a whole staff in my head. There's 12 people on staff. There's 2 in HR. I have 3 assistants. There is no finance manager, hence my debt. But we are hiring a finance manager eventually. But I have like this whole thing in my head of like, look, you know, you've been through this before multiple times, and yet here you are. You have, you know, gotten through the trenches. You've risen above. What's one more? You know, what's one more? You know, as much as you will tell yourself, God, why? Just give me a break. I just need a break. And then you have to really sit there and say, well, you did get a break. That's why you're here now. It could have been worse.
And what's one more?
And what's one more? As much as we hate to think about it, what's one more? You know, you gotta just, you know, keep that, you know, authenticity that is you. Me, I like to joke. Like I'll just say, well, dodged a bullet, I guess. You know, kind of just have to think about, well, thank God I'm not, you know, in that situation anymore. And then ultimately, you know, for me, I look at it and then I say, you know, not neglection. Rejection is redirection.
Yes.
I have to rely on that. I have to rely on that. And then sometimes I'm like, you know, I wouldn't mind if something bad happens and it just makes me feel better, but I'm not asking for
I'm not going to wish it, but you know,
I'm not going to wish it, but you know, if karma wants to come and sweep in and be like,
take out the trash. Okay. I
just feel like, oh, well, look at that. Thank God I'm not there. So,
well, would you look at that?
Exactly.
No, it's funny that you say that too, because I literally just said that to myself a couple of days ago. I was just like, you know what, rejection. Only I say rejection is protection. You know, it really is. It's protecting you from maybe something that you didn't necessarily want to experience. You've been saying that you want this in this way and in these ways. If you stick with that, you won't get this. And so it is okay that this one might not be for you, because there are other things that may work better. And that's okay. Because it really is, like you said, it's redirection. It's, you were going to the left, but what you ultimately want is to the right. So how about we just send this away so that you can actually go in the direction where you're supposed to go. And so then too, when you are going through all the directions, because I'm a firm believer in, yes, you have to put in the work, but no man is an island. And I've always had a little bit of a tug in my spirit. People say, oh, I'm self-made. And I'm like, but no person on the face of the planet can do it all without some sort of support or help or some kind of a way someone showed up for them. And so my question is always, whether it's been mentors, sponsors, advocates, but who has helped the most, and whether it's one or two people or even more than that, but who has helped to magnify your magic, especially once you discovered what it was?
Oh, there, it takes a village.
Yeah.
I was blessed enough to have a ton of women who were in exceptional positions, and who were just phenomenal through and through. They all taught me how to, you know, just show up and how to navigate this crazy, crazy world, but crazy corporate world.
Yes.
They've known me since I was non-existent, essentially. Yeah. And so they have watched me grown, and then they would say, you know what, I'm going to help you here. I'm going to put you in contact with this person. Hey, come help me with this. And pretty much just opening the doors, and not necessarily just handing out freebies and random opportunities, but saying, I'm going to work with you on this, but I'm also going to teach you how to navigate this corporate world. Yes. And to see it firsthand from women, mm-hmm. and not only women, but women of color, was just, it's something that I hope that I am, doing well, and they are proud of me. There's, outside of course, my mom, there's three women in particular. There's Kathy Dwyer, Patricia Haling, and Kimberly Davis. They were like my go-tos. If there was any type of question that I had, it was, let me call them up. Let me ask them their opinions, because they would know. Yeah. And I would go to each one of them specifically for something. Yes. Because I knew they were the experts in their world. Yep. And they would all give me different opinions that collectively made sense. And I could not be more grateful to have them in my life, because when I tell you, I call them not even daily, like I'm just like, oh my God, I need to call them. Oh my God,
it's like your board of directors.
Literally,
like, this is the issue. We need everybody to weigh in.
Yes, they are my board of directors. They are my guiding light when it comes to this crazy, crazy world. And they've just been phenomenal. And they've have so much experience and understanding of what's happening and how to, navigate through the BS and such kind words and motivating words. So I have those are that's like my 3 stars, the Holy Trinity, I would say, for me. But then on top of that, I have friends that I grew up with, that they do amazing things that I'm just grateful to have them in my circle, and to say, hey, can you help me with this? Or, hey, I need your opinion on this thing. So I have a huge community of people that, I rely on, and intrinsically they rely on me. So, I always say, like, find people that, not only motivate you, but challenge you, that will say, yeah, no, you can't do that. And, knowing that it's all love. Yeah. But, that will check you. Because I have friends that are just like, no, why would you do that? In what world does that make sense? And you're like, oh yeah, you're right. You're so right. I know.
Like, my bad. I thought I could, but okay. Thank you for helping.
I had a moment.
It was just a moment.
It was just it was a thought. It was on the list. I figured I'd just, run through my list of things, but
a list, we're not going to do that. Okay, we're going to scratch that one out. But you need friends who will tell you the truth.
Yes, that will tell you the truth, that will humble you in all the right ways.
Yeah.
But that will, always motivate you, because yes, I have my holy trinity, but it's the people that, have seen you and walked with you side by side, and said, I got you. You got this. It's not the end of the world.
Even if it feels like it.
Even if it feels like it's not in the end of the world, your job is not curing cancer. It's, selling products. And then you're like, oh yeah, I guess so. It's okay.
It reminds me of that little clip that I see on social media all the time. I think it was of Courtney, and she was saying, people are buying Kim. And
yes. I quote that daily as much. I'm not a fan of the Kardashians, but as much as I hear that quote, it's true. There are people dying.
People are
eggs are $13 right now.
Listen, I went into the store the other day because we never used to buy eggs as much. I don't know what happened. It seemed like as soon as my daughter realized that, oh, eggs are expensive, she wanted to start boiling 6 and 7 at a time to make her special garlic egg sauce. And mind you, the dish is phenomenal, but ma'am, can we use 2 or 3? Must we use 6 or 7?
Right.
It's $12 a pack. I need it.
Eggs are expensive right now. Like there's so many other worldly, traumatic events that are happening right now that it's just like, you have to kind of shift your perspective. It's like, yes, what you are doing is important, and it's important to your life because it's your livelihood. But, take a step back, take a breather. So yeah, I'm very, very fortunate to have a group of people that look out for me in all aspects.
And you know what? It's funny that you say that. There is a study that I read where it said that women who have strong communities, strong friends, they live a lot longer than those who don't. So for the folks who maybe, they're not as blessed to have a friend group and a board of directors and a tribe who will get you together in the best ways, what advice would you give to others who are not only searching for their magic and trying to figure out what to do with it, but also looking to nurture and grow that? Like, what advice would you give to others?
I would say it's going to take a whole lot of networking. Unfortunately, as I know some people are like, but I don't want to talk to people. It's going to take a whole lot of networking if you don't already have an established tribe. But
okay,
you could find your tribe, your people, whoever it is, anywhere. It does not have to be your friend group. It could be going to the gym and taking group classes. It could be, just walking around. Find what is, I would say, most authentic to you, whether that's, a class or just walking up to somebody and say, hey girl, I love your outfit. Where did you get it? And it literally could start a conversation like that. You could even go, the normal route of going to networking events and kind of starting from there. I think, again, my tribe started from such a, young age, because my tribe started with sports. Yeah. So with sports, it started off, with a small group, and then it expanded from there. I have a network of people, again, that I, rely on both personally and professionally. So it may have to be something where you kind of take a step back of who in my friend group do I feel motivates me? And then, working with those, sticking in, and hanging more with those people that motivate you. Because once that happens, then that small group expands. It's like, oh, hey, this is my friend, my friend's friend. And, it all starts that way. I know nowadays it is very hard because we're so stuck on our phones and, and all that stuff. But, sometimes you do kind of have to go the old school route and just hang out with people,
Yeah.
make reconnections.
Yeah.
Even, if it's more, you want to find that more professional connection,
Yeah.
find the person that you absolutely, admired, and just talk to them. I know most people, in my experience, most people are willing to just talk,
Yeah.
and give advice and be, happy to help where they can, just,
Mhm.
even if they're extremely busy,
Yeah.
if there is a person that you genuinely look up to, that person is going to feel that admiration and say, let me help you out.
Yeah.
How can I help?
Yep.
Whether it's just sitting for coffee or just talking through your plans, even starting that way. So there's various avenues on to finding your makeshift tribe if you don't already have one. It's pretty much, what are you comfortable with?
Yeah, that's a perfect way to round out this particular conversation. It is asking yourself, what are you comfortable with? And then two, sometimes, and are you willing to make yourself uncomfortable to achieve what it is that you want? Because
Mm-hmm.
I believe comfort zones are beautiful places. They are absolutely necessary, and also they should be more so considered rest areas too when you're looking to grow and expand professionally and in other ways. Because the most amazing gifts have come from making myself uncomfortable. Heck, it was uncomfortable to reach out to folks to be a part of this Intrinsic Magic series. I was like, oh, this doesn't feel, I feel uncomfortable. But I was like, I told myself, I'm like, you know what? If you want to make your dream a reality, you are going to have to, at some point, get comfortable with being
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable, because there's such beauty on the other side of what scares you, of what worries you, and discovering too the magic in other folks can help me and others to tap into pieces and parts of themselves that they didn't even know were there. So I thank
Yep.
you so much for
Yeah.
joining me and being a part of this series. And I would love it to, if you can let folks know where can they stay connected, if they wanted to stay connected with you, and we will go from there.
Yes. No, thank you so much. This was amazing. I will say, this is my uncomfortable step.
Okay.
This is as much as I don't mind being in the spotlight and center stage and, you know, all that. Yes, I am starting to step out of my shell. As it may not seem,
Okay.
I'm not, but I am starting to step out of my shell and like being more in front of the camera and speak in front of the camera. So
But
this
you
was
did great today.
this,
So listen, if all the people get is this conversation, listen,
this
we also,
conversation.
that's good. Okay. So you can find her at
Yes.
wherever this podcast is gonna,
Right. You can find me at this podcast.
we can find
If
you
you want
there.
to connect on LinkedIn, it's just my first name, last name. You will see this gorgeous woman in the profile pic. And yeah, connect with me there. And I'm looking forward to meeting everyone that connects. So I'm excited.
Well, thank you so much again. Y'all know you
Yes.
can stay connected with me everywhere, all over at Alechia Reese. My parents got excited. Alechia, last name Reese, Reese. Again, I know we were here for a good time, not a long time, but the gems and the magic that was found in this conversation, make sure you share it. There are at least 2 people in your contacts who need to hear this conversation. And I want you to share it. Gift them this. So until next time, we will see you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Got Value podcast. Remember, there is true value in purpose, and the greatest discovery of your life will be exactly what yours is. Stay connected with us at gotvaluenation.com.